Hi, my name's Darren Ray Fonso, and I want to talk about workers' comp systems in Washington State and across the United States of America today. The topic for today is going to be unions. I'd like to start out by saying, first of all, I'm a proud union member and have been for like 15 years of the last 30-year career that I had. The last 15 of it, I was unionized, and was happy to be after 15 years prior to that not being. I was so happy to become a union member when I did, and also went on to be a union shop steward at one point for IOPIU or something like that. I can't remember the letters anymore. It's been so long ago. But nonetheless, throughout the process, I have paid my dues, so to speak. And I still, to this day, carry in my wallet my card. So I start this out that I am a proud card-carrying union member, and I feel that to fix what's going on in our country is going to take a strong union, and it's all coming together to fight back. Now that I have said that, let's move on and talk about how our unions are failing injured workers of America today. And it is a problem because we need them. Now, I want to preface this by first off saying that my state and Washington State unions, they are standing up and doing some great things. Like just today, they got some legislation passed for firefighters for PTSD. That is awesome. They also have stood up and fought for the pipe fitters in the state. Their union or whatever has stood up and fought for the Hanford workers and did an awesome job, and took 20 years to get their fight, and they finally got some justice for them. But there were state laws that needed to be changed. And we can't just keep changing, slowly fighting with these state laws, and that's kind of what I want to get to. The union does do a great job at trying to stand up and battle back and forth with these state laws. I even talked to one of the legislative reps from my state, from the Washington State Labor Council. He's a legislative liaison or something like that. He told me at one point, Darren, that we're doing all we can to keep them from taking stuff away from us. And that's awesome, and I'm sure you're doing all that you can, but what about trying to get back what they already took away over the last 30 years? Injured workers are proving this now, that they have slowly eroded away our grand bargain by using our state laws to do so. Alec went state by state, eroding state laws so that they are no longer a viable remedy for us, the injured workers. All of us, not just a select few, and that's why I have a problem with my unions at this point in Washington State. We got to fight for all of us. We have 400 farm workers that say we're being harmed, and the farm workers union is kind of standing up for this. UFW or something, I think, is standing up for them, and that is great. But where are the rest of the unions? Where is the Washington State Labor Council? Where are they speaking out loud and clear about this harm being done and the war that's being waged, silent backdoor austerity war that's being waged on aging injured workers as we're being purged to the streets, especially the lone line workers? We're getting hurt with it even worse than anybody. Nonetheless, we have proof and facts that this harm is being done. We have the U.S. Department of Labor says that under Tom Perez, a Democratic leader, under his leadership, said that the U.S. Department, or the U.S. Washington State and 33 other states are failing injured workers. Senator Sanders agrees with that and says we need some federal minimum standards like we have a minimum federal wage. Senator Patty Murray also signed off on a letter on that to the U.S. Department of Labor. So we have all these people, Bernie Kratz and Clintonites, and even the U.S. Department of Labor under Tom Perez, of course. I'm sure it's changed now that it's changed hands. They won't have the same view, but once we get control back, we can have some federal legislation ready to slam down their throats to help injured workers of America. So we can be working on this and educating people the same way we are educating people about 15 an hour and single payer. We need to put as much effort into helping injured workers of America as we are putting into helping all these other minority groups and issues. We need to fight as much as we do for 15 an hour, and as much as we do for single parent, as much as we do for immigrant rights, as much as we do as LBG rights, as much as we do for against harassment in the workplace, which drives us back to workers' comp. If we are not addressing these issues, all of them, and having all of us addressed at the table, then we are not having solidarity for everybody, because we're only helping a select few while not addressing the harm done to all of us injured workers in the state of Washington and across the country with some minimum federal standards. That's all we're asking. Even if your state is fine, that's great. Other states aren't, and what is happening is other states are being used as tools to make us take more away from our injured workers and erode it as it has been being eroded for the last 30 years through state laws. That's why we need some minimum federal standards to come in and police the states that have put in these state work comp and med tort laws, by the way, that need to be addressed so as we, the patients, individual rights, can fight back and get justice, and so that our injured workers will get helped instead of harmed. And that is what is happening. We're having insult added to injury. People are taking 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years to get justice for the help that they should have got to start with, and that people are intently not giving them because they know they can profit off of no that will get turned around into a yes, but they don't care because they're profiting off the intentful no, and they don't get policed once they do that. I'm sorry, we have IME doctor mills, and the injured workers have proven this, that are being used as tools by the industrial complex to lie, to deny, to harm us, and all it is a delay, deny, and defend process that takes forever, and then we're stalled, settled, and starved, or something like that for pennies, and that needs to stop. And we should have 3 R's: repaired, retrained, or retired. And what they're not wanting to do is give us any of the repair or the retraining and kick us off to the federal rolls for retirement. That they don't want you because you're only half broken, so you have to fight like hell in that other system. This is bullshit. This is harming people. This is a class war being waged upon us through our work comp and state med tort laws. And if our union brothers and sisters can't stand up and fight for all of us instead of just a few of us, it's great that you've done that. Hurrah! Hooray for the Hanford workers. Hooray for firefighters. That is awesome, brothers and sisters. We need that, but we need that for everybody across this country. Why should Washington State just have it? Why shouldn't the firefighter in Alabama have the same protections that we do here? Shouldn't we protect all our brothers? And isn't an injury to one worker in Alabama also the injury to us, my friends? Please do. Heed the call, union brothers and sisters, and demand that Jeff Johnson of Washington State Labor Council step up and speak out and demand the federal oversight, and do not endorse any other candidate unless they sign off on the federal oversight and minimum standards that Senator Bernie Sanders says we need, and also Senator Patty Murray. So I'm sorry, if laborers can't sign off on Clinton Knight and Bernie Kratz asking for us to have federal oversight of broken state work comp systems, then who are you there for, Jeff Johnson? That's who I want to know. That's what I want to know. And the injured workers and the 400 farm workers that are being left behind in this state, they want to know too. Now, you will the union does stand up and fight for a state ombudsman that we need here in Washington State. That is part of the problem. They will speak up for that. But the part that you're failing us on the most is the federal oversight. It's those minimum standards that will kick some ass in people's butts and make them treat us right instead of stealing our grand bargain away. And you won't have to sit here and fight these little battles every couple of years about work comp, because there will be some minimum standards in place that we won't have to fight no more. They will, no matter what president is in place, which political party is in power, we will have minimum standards in place, and they can't fuck with us. Why can't you get that through your heads? An injury to one is an injury to all. And if we are not standing up for federal minimum standards to protect our brothers and sisters in other states, it comes back and fucks us all in the ass. So I'm sorry, Jeff Johnson, if you cannot speak up and come out and tell us the truth and demand that Governor Inslee get honest, and that all the other state lawmakers get honest and tell us we need this federal oversight, or we will not endorse their asses. And also the other United States federal lawmakers, that we will not endorse you either if you don't stand up and fight for us, like Rick fucking Larson, who I've been begging for help for injured workers in this country. Yes, union brothers and sisters, do heed the call. Be there for all of us, and not just a select few. We need to help all injured workers. If we don't, people fear reporting their injuries, and if they fear reporting their injuries, it comes back and harms us all in the long run. We need justice, and we need it now. And Jeff Johnson of the Washington State Labor Council, you speak up, brother, because by God, if not, the injured workers will rise up, and we have every right to, because we are being denied justice and put through hell, and our unions are failing us, and that needs to stop today. Thank you.